Hello viewers. Let's take a look at our learning goals. In part 1 we learned how to open a Windows Form application and how to organize files on file system. In this part of Visual Studio Tour we will learn how to customize Visual Studio IDE and the skills that you need for designing a Windows Form application. Let's begin the tutorial. This is the project we created in part 1. The first thing we need to do is to change Visual Studio default save location directory to our own working directory. If you remember, we created a working directory by the name of C# Journey in the part 1. Open Tool menu, and in the last you will find option. Click on that. You need to find Project and Solution here. Click on Node and expand it. Now select Location option. Here you see the default save directory is Repos directory, which is inside the user directory. Click the Browse button and select your own working directory. Click OK. It is done. Now you don't need to browse to your working directory every time you open a new project. Let's go ahead. When you open a Windows Form application, it would more or less looks like as you see on the screen. This center area is called Form Designer. Here you can see your Windows Form. On the left you can see a Toolbox window. On the top right we have Solution Explorer window. And at bottom right you can see Properties window. You can find Standards menu on the top. And here you see the toolbar. This setting of different windows is default. I would like to have a custom setting, which is used by most of the developers. You can keep the same customized setting that I am showing you, or you can have your own setting. Let's first close all the windows. When we work with Windows Form, we need at least 3 windows opened all the time. The first and most important window is Solution Explorer. Let's open it. Choose View menu and here you choose Solution Explorer. I want my Solution Explorer window on the left side. Let's drag it first into the middle. As you drag it into the middle you will see many different options to place it. Let's drop it to the left. It will now sit on to the left side.
Solution Explorer lists all the projects and files that make up each solution. Here you can see a solution name which is Capital 5. In Capital 5 solution you can find the project Task 1. Click the node, and you will see a tree view of all the files used to make up the project. In Properties you can find Assemblies and Resources. In References you can find all the namespaces our project is using. We are right now not interested in first 2 options. We are interested in the third one, which is actually our form. Notice here that form file has form-like picture icon, and our form is opened here as a tab. If you accidentally close the form, so you can open it using 2 ways. First one is, you just need to double-click on the form file in the Solution Explorer. For example,
or the second way is, you right-click on the form file and then choose Show Designer. The second most important window is the Toolbox window. Let's first open it. Choose View and then Toolbox. Let's place it to the right side. In Toolbox you will find the controls you work with, like text boxes, buttons, labels, etc. There are different ways to place controls on the form. It is up to you what do you prefer or like. For example, you can drag and drop a control, such as another way is to select a control in the toolbox. Then click on the form where you want to place it. Or, drag the pointer on the form to place the control and size it at the same time. See example. Another way is double-click the control in the toolbox. It will automatically be placed in the form. Check example. As you see, we have now 2 windows opened and our designer area has minimized. If I open one more window, the designer minimizes itself again. What we can do here is to activate auto hide on our windows. You can see an auto hide button here. Just click on it to activate auto hide. Now you may have noticed that the window is hidden in the left side. If you need it, just click on it. And when you click outside the window, it will collapse again. Now the third most important window we want to be opened is Properties window. Let's open it. Choose View and choose Properties window. Properties window is at right position. I wanted it together with Toolbox window. You will use Properties window very frequently while working with forms. Here you modify the properties of controls. In order to modify the properties, you need to select the control first. Like I am selecting the button. Your selected control will be listed at the top of the Properties window. And here you can see all the properties you can change. Let's suppose I want to change the background color, so I can do like. When you want to select any control, you will only do it by a single click. You will not double-click on any control unnecessary, because every double-click creates an event handler. You will learn about event handler later. You can even find the list of all the controls you already have placed on the form by clicking the drop-down list here. This is a safer way to select the control. You can just click any control's name and it will be selected. Then you can set the properties, for example. In the Properties window you will also find the Event Handler. Now talk about the Form Designer and Code Editor. Form opens itself as a tab which you can see here. You can adjust the size of the form just by dragging the points, like. On the form you place controls. Like we have 3 button controls. In order to program these buttons we need Code Editor to enter the C# code. That makes the controls work the way you want them. The easiest way to call up the Code Editor is to right-click on the form or any control and choose View Code. Code Editor opens itself as another tab, you can notice here. Another way to enter into the Code Editor is double-click a control. For example, as I double-click on the button I will enter into the Code Editor. But this action will create an event handler to the control being clicked. Because of that you won't double-click unnecessary. You will double-click only when you intentionally want to create an event handler to any control. More about event handlers you will learn later. Now you have both Designer and Code Editor. You can switch in between using mouse pointer, or you can use combination of Control plus Tab keys. Now the last thing is how to test project to see whether it works or not. It is a 2-step process. The first step is build a project. You need to pull down the build menu and select the build solution command. If the project doesn't contain any coding error, the C# code is compiled into the intermediate language for the project and it is saved on the disk in an assembly. Let's build it. And here you can see the build process is succeeded. Once you have your assembly ready you need to call the Common Language Runtime (CLR) to execute the assembly. Let's do it. Pull down the debug menu and choose Start Debugging. And here you see the result. Our project executed successfully. But you do not need to build and run separately all the time. The easiest way is to click this green node button. If the project is not built earlier then it will be built first and then executed by CLR. Let's try it. In order to stop the execution, you can close your form or can press the stop button. I hope you found these 2 tutorials helpful, and you became familiar with Visual Studio environment. Thanks for watching.